Episode 60 of Thick and Thin with LB Duty and, of course, Hitman, Roger Roken. Everyone's here today. It's been a long day already, and I figured we'd start the show. We have nothing to talk about at all except for feelings. If you guys want to tune in now and you talk about your feelings, it's fine. You can feel free to use chat to cry or any of these. There's children screaming in the background.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's mass chaos over at LB's house. So before we go on, let's introduce everybody. We'll start with Roger because we never do. It's not fair. I feel we've been mean recently. So what's up, buddy? How's it going in the Canada does?
Yeah, it's going good.
We both know it's not going good. We both know.
No, but we're not going to talk about it.
We could share. We could share. This is a safe place. It's a safe place. LB, what's going on in your neck of the woods? Anything? You doing anything? Nothing? Still screaming children? Is that why you're just waving? Love it. Love it. Hey, give us a little sample of the screaming. Is it possible to just a little sample? I want to hear. Is it nothing?
Hey, hold on.
Okay, ready?
Hold on.
Oh, they're going to scream. I see now they're quiet. I hear like
it's building up. It's the calm before the storm, like we talked about. It's the ripe fruit, and you know the shit's coming.
You coming. There's some bruises on that shit. It's ready to go. Well, anyway, crying children aside, we looked for a topic today, and nothing is going on in gaming. No one cares anymore. Everyone just sits around and watches Netflix. That's what we do with our time. But we figured we'd kind of go through some of the news. LB was going to start off with a little bit of what is going. We've already talked about it a little bit, but what's been going on with Xbox One since all the stuff that we've been talking about, what new features or things they've kind of been divulging since the great apocalypse of what was, them coming out in the first place. Obviously, they've since done the whole backflip on the DMR and stuff like that, or DMR on their, yeah, well, that too, maybe. But so there's been a lot of changes, but they've also been releasing some new information. So what's the new stuff we've learned so far, Albie? Where are we at now?
Well, from the last show, I would say the couple different things that we've heard about is that they've talked a little bit about the recording options that you're going to be able to do with the Xbox One. Apparently, it's going to be recording pretty much, you'll have 5 minutes of game time always being recorded. But what you'll also be able to do with the Kinect integration to that, you'll do something like Xbox Record. And then it will definitely make a 30-second recording from the previous 30 seconds from when you just said that. So, if you're playing a game and you just did some crazy-ass ninja shit, you go, Xbox Record! So it'll go back 30 seconds of you doing some 360 reverse super grenade throw, and it'll record it, and then it'll save it for you.
Oh, so is it like a DVR now, where if you miss a show or you miss a segment of a show, you kind of get that last 30 seconds or whatever? I love that. Yeah,
well, I mean, you're communicating to the Xbox, telling it definitely record this. Otherwise, when you do, or from what I read in the article, when you end the game, it definitely records the last 5 minutes of that game, no matter what.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, every game you play, especially for matchmaking. Now, if you're playing a single-player game, I don't know. They didn't really go that much into it, but the impression that they gave is, at least for multiplayer games, the last 5 minutes is always recorded. So you ended a match, it records back 5 minutes. But if something happened at the beginning of the game, or if you just aren't sure when it's going to end, you can say Xbox Record, and it'll do 30 seconds back from that point.
So the question is, and I don't know if they've talked about this, where do those uploads go? Because I'm assuming it's not Twitch. Twitch isn't really meant to be uploading videos to. It's a streaming service. Have they said where these videos are going? Is it their own cloud? Is it their own deal? Or is it YouTube or something?
They said it'll be sent to your hard drive and stored on your hard drive.
Right.
From there, I guess you go through either the game menus or the system menus and say, upload this to YouTube, or maybe upload it to whatever system they're going to be using to do it. So
I guess the question is this: right now, the PC is really the only way to do it. I mean, realistically, in a good way, it's streamlined, it's easy to do. This almost feels like it's going to be even easier to do. Obviously, there's no hardware. It's going to really take those HD guys out. Like Hompog and all those people are really going to be hurting because of this. Do you think this will cause like an even larger explosion? I guess. And Roger, you might even be able to answer this. Do you think it's going to be like a big enough deal where we'll see a huge spike in online video and online video games and stuff like that, or more of the same?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a huge influx of gaming content getting on the internet, YouTube, Twitch, Ustream. Yeah, it's going to be all over the place. Everything's going to be recorded.
Yeah, and I feel like it's going to make like our jobs really hard because we're not interesting people as it is. And the one thing that we've got going for us right now is that it's not completely flooded yet with a bunch of, online personalities and stuff like that. But I feel like it's this whole community of online gaming and talking about games and all that stuff is going to like really be saturated in the next couple like year even. With everyone uploading video game content, it kind of like makes me wonder, I don't know if there's enough eyeballs to watch all of this content. And I almost feel like the saturation point's going to hit and it's going to, I don't want to say it's going to kill it, but right now you can watch pro gamers, you can watch events, you can watch, tournaments and stuff like that. And it's fun. But I think like once every Joe Schmo has an access to really just pump out content on a 24-hour basis, I think it's gonna be really hard to find good content. And it's going to make that whole environment really harder to wade around in. I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts, LB? You do a little bit of this yourself. Once you get this sort of power in your hand, is this going to increase for you? I mean, is this going to be something where you're going to really kind of take a shine to it and get out there more?
Well, if it can, and again, for me, I prefer to have like the higher quality stream going on.
Right.
But my old rig really can't handle it. But if I at least get 720p,
yeah,
and if it's not super laggy for all the games to do it, then yeah, I'm going to be streaming a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody fucking watches me, but on the off chance that I do something crazy or wacky or funny, I want to definitely be able to, to capture that.
Well, the question too is, I mean, the things that I like to do on Twitch, or what I like about Twitch, is not just seeing gameplay, but I think you need that personal touch of having the webcam pointed at you, and like there needs to be that presence as well. Sometimes you don't need it, but I think like for what I do, or what we do as a show, showing who you are as a person and like putting yourself out there makes it a little bit more accessible, I guess. And now I'm assuming, and I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but I'm assuming you'll be able to do that with the Kinect camera.
I was just gonna kind of let you know about that. The article that went onto it is when you go back to your stored video, you can then do commentary on what you did, and using your Kinect, it'll pop up a little window that you can put in the video and be like, all right, this is where I just went in and totally just shit on those kids, and let me do a play-by-play for you. You'll have that capability, or at least they say you'll have that capability. So,
wow,
that's pretty interesting. I mean, it's going to be really, and I guess the follow-up to all of this news is, will Twitch be able to handle this much traffic? This is the whole thing that we were talking about. I mean, we've seen stuff like this in the past where, a really great feature comes out, or a service gets turned on, or, Diablo, or these games get, and the infrastructure just isn't there. And I think with the ease of use and the ability to finally stream at will any time of day, any console, whenever, I don't know that Twitch is going to be able to handle this. And we've seen it already. Even in the last couple of weeks, I think we lost the ability to log in for like a week. Chat for us was down for several weeks. For me, I couldn't even get it to come up. And this is before, everyone and their mother is going to have a Twitch account. So, I mean, that seems to be one of the biggest problems that I see going forward is, can this service handle it? I mean, you think these guys are ready? Do either of you think these guys are ready?
If release was like this week or next week, I don't think so. I don't think they're ready for that amount of broadband hitting them all at once. And be for damn sure, you're going to have a lot of people doing it. If it's as easy as I just have to log in and say record or stream, and then it happens, I mean, you're going to have a lot of people doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you guys think that the Microsoft servers are going to be helping with any of this?
Well, that's the question: is how much talking, or how much have they done as a group together to sort of be ready for this onslaught. I mean, that's the thing is, I don't know that Microsoft servers matter in this situation because the endpoint still is going to come down to Twitch. And I certainly don't think Microsoft is funding anything for Twitch or helping them in any way. That's a partnership of service, and I think that's where it ends. So, if Twitch goes down or, if Twitch gets shit on, that's probably a bummer for Microsoft, but I don't think they're going to give them a kickstand of any sort. I think they're just going to have to stand on their own. So it's going to be really interesting to see as a service what this does. I mean, I have to say this. If I was Twitch right now, I would just be like, we fucking hit the lottery. I mean, this is a partnership where effectively, I don't even know if it's a partnership. It's like one guy is telling the other guy, like, hey, your little, site, which is actually quite big now, but I mean, in comparison, we're going to make your site effectively have millions of users, extra users than you currently have, within 2 months after launch. They're probably going to sell at least 1 million units, I would assume, or close to that. Probably a few 100,000 in the beginning, but you're giving the ability for every single person that gets that console to immediately go on Twitch and start streaming. So that's like a fucking freebie. I mean, I would be fucking dancing the jig every night before I went to bed. I mean, that's the greatest thing ever, right? I mean, it's like, who's winning here? Just Twitch, right?
Well, Twitch is winning, and your, gamer is winning too. I mean, right now, if you wanted to do it, you're gonna need to at least spend $200 on some type of DVR, like the Elgato or the Hopkey or whatever it is. You're gonna have a broadband connection of at least guaranteed 1 up, just to get the base bottom of the level streaming. Right. And then if you want quality 720p or higher, you're going to have a computer rig at least with an i5, decent amount of RAM, something pretty new. I mean, my rig is 8 years old. I've got a good video card in it, but the processor on it just can't do it.
No. Yeah. So, I mean, but the good news is that I would think, having the Xbox One, it'll be more than enough to handle stream. I think really that it's going to come down to the broadband. And you're going to have a lot of people with some shitty streams. I think that's going to be sort of just normal or on par for the course. But again, that's the thing is all this new content's going to hit Twitch relatively quickly. And what's that really going to do to, finding the good streams again or wading through the bullshit? And Twitch does a pretty good job of that already, but we've said this before. It's really hard to get your show out there as it is now. We've been doing this show for a long time now. I mean, we're on episode 60 of this incarnation, but we've been doing this for a while. And it's really hard to find new listeners, mostly because there's really no way to promote yourself on Twitch. It's like, the rich get richer scenario where if you are already popular or somehow manage to get a lot of high numbers, once you hit the front page, you've got an instant following, right? Like you automatically get, as long as your show isn't total shit like ours is. Let's assume we had a great show as well. I mean, if we were to get on the homepage, you're kind of done. Like you're set. You can start earning money. You can become a partner. But once we have this influx, it's going to be really hard for people to get out there, I think. I don't know. Well, anyway, so what other stuff have we learned? I mean, what was the stuff with the Kinect they talked about today that was really cool? I saw a little bit on IGN. It was mostly voice recognition, but the big thing I saw was that they were saying it was up to 10 to 15 times more powerful than the old one. And they were trying to do a lot of the comparisons between the two, one of which they said it can track your finger movements up to a few millimeters or something like that. And for facial recognition, one of the examples they gave is, I'm an inverted player when I play. I play inverted for pretty much everything. An example they gave was, if I'm sitting at my friend's house or I go over to my friend's house, my friend comes here, when they touch the controller, the camera automatically knows where the controller is, then tracks your face as facial recognition. It knows who you are, pulls up your profile, automatically signs you in, and inverts your controller. So it knows your settings, it knows where you're sitting, it knows all that stuff. And again, people probably are like, oh, NSA is up my ass. But whether or not you subscribe to that, I think that's pretty fucking awesome. I mean, does anyone not like this? Or how do you guys feel about this type of stuff? Is it too spooky for you? Is it too NSA? Or what do you think?
I think it's awesome because I play Halo with some really fucked up controls, and being able to just pick up the controller and it switch over to my custom shit, That's pretty sick. I like that.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think of it?
LB? No?
Is it frightening?
No, I'm not scared. I'm not. Oh my god. I like it too. I mean, seriously, because if I'm playing, or if somebody's come over and using it, and they flip the controls to what I have, and then I sit there and play, and it's like all of a sudden inverted, I freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing to my controls? If you leave the goddamn thing, switch them.
Yeah.
So now if it's just like, oh, hey, LB's on, okay. And it switches, like, if it's that seamless and that quick and painless, let's do it.
You're into it. Yeah. I mean, I am too. I don't think it's an invasion of privacy. You're making that choice. An invasion of privacy is something that happens when you're not making that choice and they come into your house and they do. But I mean, if you want to turn it off, you can turn it off. But I think that type of shit is fucking next level. I think it's really cool. And one of the other things they talked about that I thought was cool, and this is one of those things where I don't think it's going to matter entirely, but it's a nice little addition, which was because they have facial recognition and they can even do muscle work, right? So they know when you're smiling and when you're frowning, which I think is fucking crazy. What they're going to be able to do now is map your face in such detail. I saw some of the detail. It's like spooky. I mean, this shit is like weird. Because they essentially can render your whole face. They know your BMI, like they literally know your body mass. So if you go into a shooter, or you're playing Halo, or you're playing whatever, you could be like LB, like this huge ass motherfucking Spartan, right? And it'll actually do while you're playing. Say you're like smiling or giggling or laughing, your guy in game will be smiling and giggling and laughing, and it's a sort of like a full representation of yourself while you play. What do you guys think about this type of shit? This is like some Matrix shit going on here. Do we want this though? I guess that's the big question. Do you care, or is it just kind of like a fun thing, that you get?
Well, I think it's pretty cool, but my body is godlike.
Yeah, your physique is masterful. Yeah.
So, a lesser person might be a little bit worried about having, Shrek run around on the battlefield or something like that. But I think it's pretty cool. And also, like, the same article you read, if you can get those facial expressions out, so, like, when you've got that kid yelling at you in game, and you're actually finally able to kill him, or, like, snap his neck or something, you could be, like, standing over him with a real expression on your face, like, I just hate your fucking soul! So, that your true anger can be conveyed through the internet.
I love
what I mean?
I mean, I guess it begs the question, what sort of bad things are people going to do with this? Right? Like, yeah. We're already in a state where, and this was a topic that we will probably go into because it was one of the things in the news today. But we're already in a state where, like, inside video games, people take things like really seriously, to the point now where you've got obviously the case of the kid going out there and talking some shit in League of Legends, and they put him in jail, which I think was absolutely insane. But there was a case like 2-3 weeks ago where, like, a 40-year-old guy was playing with one of his friend's kids over the internet in Call of Duty. The friend's kid was like, yeah, you fucking piece of shit, I fucked your mom. Now he knows this kid. He goes into a blind rage, walks to the kid's house, and he's strangling him. He's like, yo, motherfucker. And the mom is jumping in, like, pulling him off. And this is all because of Call of Duty, right? And it really begs the question is, like, once we start to personalize things even more and, like, use this technology where it's like me, the accountability starts to go up. So I don't know. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Like, what do you think in terms of that, where it's going to be like, you'll see me in a real blind rage over the internet visually. You'll be like, wow, Jay's in a blind rage right now. I wonder if, like, that doesn't, like, sort of lower the anonymity and finally bring such a personalization to it where maybe people will feel more accountable. I mean, you think that's it's still the internet though. I mean, no one really cares, right? No one cares.
And, well, as far as accountable, kind of, you're still going to need that familiarity with the other person. I mean, yeah, if you're in high school and, you see the guy every day, or on college or whatever it is, yeah, and that's a whole lot different story. But if it's like you and me, you're in Chicago and I'm in, Orange County, I can't just, like,
hop on a plane. I mean, you could. It'd be expensive to beat me down.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, I gotta pay all that money to, go and kick you in the nuts.
I'd have a lot of warning too. I'd be able to pack up and move out of the country. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that would suck.
That would suck. I mean, what do you think, Hit? I mean, would you use this feature? I mean, do you care? I guess that's the thing does anyone care? I think it's cool, but I don't know.
Yeah, this is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know. But it's not a console seller, is it? Like you're not like so
no.
Right. You're just like, meh, I guess.
Like Rainbow Six Vegas, they had that Xbox Live Vision camera, and like you could map your face on there and shit. Like I thought that was cool. I used it. Well,
Did
I
you?
don't know, whatever.
You use that, huh?
Yeah, I even took a picture of Jack Bauer and I put Jack Bauer's face on my character. Hilarious.
Really?
Yeah, I put a picture of Jack Bauer in front of the camera.
Wow. I don't know. That's kind of cool, I guess.
Back in my 24 days.
Right. You can get. I want a picture of like Obama, and I just want to go around and call it.
Yeah, but then a lot of people were doing shit like their assholes or penises and stuff. It was
well, that's what I'm saying with this technology. I mean, it's cool, but you're going to see dickheads, literal,
yeah, you're going to see a lot
dickheads.
Of dickheads.
Penis faces is like going to be. That's the new thing. It's going to be cock faces all day long. Because that's the thing with the internet. Like you give this feature out, it's going to be like the most grotesque, fucked up shit. I mean, does anyone remember when Call of Duty had the emblems? And, you can make your own emblem or whatever.
Yeah. Still do that.
I mean, it was the most racist. That environment was like borderline. It was porn. It was like people would, you give someone some MS Paint and like 6 pixels and you will fucking see dicks and vagina. I don't even know how these people are creating this shit. I'm like impressed. Half the time I see it, I'm like, oh my God, that's so offensive. And then the other side of my brain is like, but really I'm impressed. How did they there's a whole scene here. There's 6 different things happening in this picture. It's amazing.
Well, I mean, it's also like with the Forza guys too, it's the layer graphics is what it's all about. And like, Blops 2 still has that, but they've even given you like more layers now.
Oh, dear
it's like
God.
5 times the amount of layers, so it's like crazy shit. But the reporting system is pretty good. I mean, if it gets reported, it really does like get reviewed and then your shit gets hacked.
Really?
But there's still enough out there that doesn't get reported, or at least if it has been reported, it nothing's happened. Because on mine, I've got a set of boobs on mine, of course. That
Right.
It's looking at a gorilla. But there's some guys out there. I know some guy does anal beads, and then there's other stuff.
I mean, come on.
What about on Minecraft? Is there any crazy shit on Minecraft?
Oh yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Oh yeah. That's all I'm saying. I mean, like these types of features that like personalize things more and more. I mean, yeah, they're cool, but I just don't. I foresee them being abused like immediately. I don't even see like there's. I don't know.
Well, this is what I think, or what I assume they're going to do, is that you're going to have to go into your game settings and say, yes, I want to see that stuff.
Oh.
And then, like, the default setting will be like, no, I don't want to see it.
Right.
And you'll have to be in and be like, yeah, okay, let me see it. Then once you do that, you need to be prepared.
Yeah, I buy that. I buy that.
You know what's coming.
Yeah, like a dick is coming. You have 5 minutes till you see a dick.
Yeah,
Why is it always a dick too? Why? Who are the? This is a side subject. Why do guys send dick pics to chicks? I'm just gonna put this out. This has nothing to do with gaming, but this is why are people sending pictures of their penises to other people ever? Don't do it. Don't put it on the internet. Don't put it on your phone. Don't send it to anybody. God damn it! Don't take it out unless you absolutely have to. That is the key to success in life. I don't know. That's fucking crazy. There's too many dick pics. There should be none. There should be no pictures. Ever. None. That's my theory. Well, I'm sticking to it. All right, so speaking of nerd raging and all the other shit that goes along with this, the story that LBE kind of picked up on today is probably the final story we'll talk about, is so they made some changes to Call of Duty. And as gamers are, a lot of the vocal minority blew their shit. And I guess what happened, I mean, LB knows a little bit more, but I guess what happened was death threats were actually issued against these developers. Death threats were issued against developers for doing these changes. So, I mean, LB, what's the lowdown on that? Exactly.
Well, I follow One of Swords, who's the community manager over at Activision. And, he tweeted out that, like, yeah, this Blops update is coming, and you can see the list of changes and everything like that. Probably within the next, I'd say, 2 to 4 hour, maybe even 5 hour span of time, we get another post by him, or actually a retweet from one of the devs or something. And the dev was like, look, I understand you guys are upset about the changes. Now, keep in mind, these are minuscule changes. It wasn't crazy change, just a little tiny change. But I think death threats on me and others is a little extreme. So, I mean, that's it. Honestly, that's what, it's nothing new. It's the internet.
Right.
That's how that crazy shit happens. But death threats over a buff or a nerf. Death threats.
Is this what...
I'm going to show up to Activision, and I'm going to kill you because you nerfed my AN-74, whatever the fuck it is.
So this goes into the question of, and this kind of goes even to like the school shootings and all this other weird shit that happens, right? And obviously we know that really violence is down overall in general. So my question about this type of stuff is this on the rise? Is it me? I don't remember too many death threats from video games, especially not aimed at developers in the past. Is it now is it getting to the point now where maybe it's because developers now are so accessible, because they used to not be. Developers, you would never knew who developed the game. It was some dude in a dungeon somewhere and he's locked away, and you played his game. You had fuck all to do with him. You know what I mean? You didn't care. You knew the name of the company maybe, and that was it. So now that everything's like so accessible, is that the reason we're seeing this, or are things like are gamers getting like more and more violent? Let's go into that little topic. I mean, is that not it? Is it the accessibility? What do you think?
I definitely think it's the accessibility, because like you said, now you can see, you go to a dev's website, you see all the environment devs, weapon devs, multiplayer devs, campaign devs, blah 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 blah, coders, whoever. Then of course they want to list their Twitters. Oh, here's my Twitter, da 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 da, get a hold of me at here. So now, I mean, it's so easy. You need a free Twitter account.
Right.
You go in and follow, and you know where they're talking, and then if you want to rage out, you go click, 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 I want to kill you, bang your wife, and then beat her dead with your intestines.
Wow, when did you write that?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Damn.
I mean, for example, that's how
okay.
easy it is. You know what I mean? I like the ease of it, but with that, you're going to have the psychos out there having the same amount of easy.
So, I mean, really, I guess that's the thing, though. So, really, One of Swords, like, sort of giving this speech, which was a good speech, I guess, It wasn't, Marlon Brando or anything. It was a good speech. You saying everyone needs to calm down. The reality is that it does nothing, right? I mean, like, this is going to continue. It's not the end nor beginning. It's just sort of, this is the way it is now, right? I mean, I don't know. For me, I haven't seen a lot of this before, so it does feel like a start of something new. I mean, maybe there are situations where they've done this in the past, but I can't recall of any like developer himself being, sort of singled out and like, I'm gonna, rape your children or some fucking bizarre shit that these people do. So I mean, I don't know. Is this the start of that, or is it just kind of like that one incident and it's probably gonna be fine?
I don't think it's a start. I mean, I think, maybe the death threats have been a little bit more recent, maybe in the past couple years compared to, like 5 years ago or something like that. But I just think you're going to get more and more of it, because, like, people are not restrained. And I'm not, advocating going out there and, beating the shit out of everyone who says it. But there is no preventing anyone from saying anything at any time on the internet.
Well, you bring up that, and that's a really good point. And Plato and Chats bring up the point too that anonymity is the primary enabler, but maybe not the root cause. But I have to say, the other news that we saw, we already talked about a little bit, was what about the guy in League of Legends that told the other kid, "Hey, I'm gonna fucking bomb your school," or I don't even know what he said to him, something to that nature.
He said he was going to show up to the school, and kill some kids. Haha, LOL. And then later he followed up saying, after that, I'm going to eat their hearts. So he didn't just make the first post. He then followed up with it.
He put the cherry on top, right? He's like, and I'm going to eat their... Yeah, that's good. That's good. Mwah. Well, but that's
who hasn't said something like that on the internet.
So, but here's the thing. So here's the thing with this. Aren't we? It would appear to me that we're losing a little bit of that anonymity because this guy got caught. So, and this is the question. So he gets caught, right? They throw the book at him like you would never believe. Clearly, the kid's not going to eat hearts. He's not going to go to school and murder people. We don't know, but I mean, come on. It's the internet. People have said some shit that blows that out of the water. So this happens. The kid, now he can't get out of jail. He has to pull, I think the bond was over 200,000. It was really high. I mean, this kid was
500,000.
500,000.
500
for something this guy said over the internet. He didn't
Who
even
is
do
this
anything.
judge?
So, okay, so it's bananas, right? But here's the other side of it. This is a fucking banana situation. It's crazy town, and he's the mayor. But at the same time, obviously they're doing this to sort of show and make a lesson out of it, make him the example. You can't just say whatever you want on the internet, and your anonymity really isn't going to protect you. So in a way, is this a good thing or no? What are your thoughts on it as a whole? Because it is teaching a lesson. Unfortunately, this motherfucker's the guy that gets it the hardest. But is it going to do anything, right? Or people are still going to be assholes, right? It's not going to change anything.
People are still going to be assholes. This is the funniest story I've ever heard. I can't believe this.
So you think it has no effect?
No. You hear shit like this all the time. Like, I'm surprised he got caught, but there's gonna be so many more assholes to replace him.
Right, like the justice system can't like clean the internet. You know, they can't.
No, there's no way.
I mean, that's the thing. I kind of agree with Plato. He's saying, $500 would be a more poignant lesson for the kid. At the same time, I don't even know if $500 wouldn't have mattered either.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't have mattered either. I could totally agree.
I don't know. The kid's a fucking douchebag. He might not even be a douche. Probably a nice kid. I don't know him, personally or anything. We're not best friends. We're on Facebook together.
Oh, he's a douchebag.
Like, how much time did he get?
Well, this was it. He had the bond of $500,000, right?
Uh-huh.
So the parents didn't have the money, and they couldn't raise the money for the bond.
Okay.
So he was in jail for, I think it was at least 4 months. Yeah, I mean, this is the part. This is the part where I think, okay, logic kind of went a little bit crazy there. That's insane. So then recently what happened is there was an anonymous donator who donated the money to bail the kid out. So he is out of jail now. Here's the thing.
But because he was bailed out, though.
Well,
he could have stayed in there longer.
But you would think, okay, he's out. Maybe the lawyers would have got together and said, hey, you know what? Maybe make a little backtrack of what you said. Maybe make it a little apology, right? No. He was like, there was a veiled apology, like thin veil apology, followed up by, well, they shouldn't have put me in jail for so long. This has been so overdone, da-da-da-da-da. This is just a man trying to hold me down. I don't know. He just didn't feel he was like really sorry he didn't get the point is what I'm trying to get at. And Plato, to your thing, $500, yeah, maybe he would have got it, but he had 4 months in jail. He was assaulted in jail.
He
might have been, he was insulted in
the
jail.
butt?
I don't know if he got the butt penetration.
It always goes in the butt.
No, he got it.
It's in the butt.
He was a pretty looking kid, so he was somebody's bitch. And he still came out. And instead of being like, look, I'm really sorry for what I did. I understand the ramifications that in the time we are for what specifically I said, it was taken very wrong. He didn't do any of that. Like nothing. He was like, well, what I said, was taken out of context.
He's like, y'all are just bitches. I actually like this kid. He's so dumb.
Maybe this kid was talking trash to the judge.
Well, he's like, you want to go on fucking League of Legends? I will shit on you.
I will shit
inside of your mouth. I will fucking tear it like the heavens and rain. So let me give you the exact quote, because by the way, this quote is even better than what LB said. I couldn't even this guy is a fucking, he's with the words. I love him. All right. So he says, I'm fucked in the head. All right. I think I'm going to shoot up a kindergarten and watch the blood of the innocent rain down and eat the beating hearts out of one of them. Oh, it is so good. So good.
So over the top.
That is like with feeling too. You can read the emotion in there. It's genuine. So, and then of course afterwards he said, "Lol, JK." That's just a joke.
Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna throw this out there for you. I mean, I get the 4 months in jail. That's excessive. But here's the thing. Let's say the cops didn't do anything.
Right. This is what I'm
They
saying.
showed up to the house and went, you need to cut it out. Okay, I'll take down the post. A week later, the kid goes to the kindergarten and actually kills 4 kids.
Right. Eats their hearts, rains blood down.
He goes through with his LOL JK, right? Yes, I'm being extreme, but it's not out of the question. How much uproar would the cops would have received for, why didn't you go and arrest this kid? Why didn't you put him under a psych eval? Why didn't you do this? We've had 4 kids, blah, 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 whatever it is. I mean, how can you hold somebody responsible for doing something or not doing? You're damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't. I think you do need to err on the side of caution. You need to show up at the house and be like, hey, douchebag, what you said isn't okay. And you know what? This is what we can do. And you know what? I'm going to stick you in a slammer, and we're going to actually bring charges up for you. Maybe the bail is a little bit high. Get him back out. Plea bargain to like a low-grade misdemeanor and be like, figure it out, fucktard.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Well, and I agree with Plato, too, in chat. He's saying, you have rights to search his house at that point. You can go over, you can see if he's got any firearms. You can give him a psych eval. That's probably what should have happened. I mean, I will say it right now, and I think everyone agrees, it was over the top. And clearly they did it to get the publicity of it out there, to make an example out of the kid. There's no question, right? So, I don't know. Overall, it's just, it's retarded. I mean, it's retarded. So,
yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that again, anonymity and the way the gaming is going, I think we're losing a little bit of that now. I mean, I think overall we're going to lose a lot of that. So, I don't know. We have to keep our eye on it. Anyway, that's probably going to do it for us. I don't think we have too many more topics to talk about.
Did you want to talk about the dev kits thing? You kind of skipped over that.
Which one?
The dev kits for the Xbox Ones are going to be dev kits.
Oh yeah, explain a little about that. Let's do that, because that is a weird story.
Yeah, so we're circling back around.
Going back around. Yeah, I missed that one.
This week it was announced that Xbox will let people self-publish, or indie people, self-publish.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially every Xbox One is going to be a dev kit. You don't have to, approach Microsoft to ask for a dev kit. You don't have to go to them to pay for a dev kit. It's going to be a dev kit. Now, it's not going to be on launch day. They came out with an update saying, launch day, no, that's not going to be there. But, I mean, how cool is that? Everyone's going to have a dev kit. If you want to try your hand at being a self-publisher or an indie game developer, you're going to have the tools by showing up to Best Buy and buying an Xbox One. Apparently there is going to be some sort of either licensing fee or something to go along that, yes, you're going to have to pay for that. But compared to like a PS4 dev kit, which is something like $2,500, it's not, it's not nowhere near that, the combo with the licensing fee and the Xbox One.
You think you'll see more indies?
That's the question. Is this like in relation to how they've kind of been how PlayStation 4 has been handling things? I mean, they clearly are. They're taking the bull by the horns there, and they're really saying that we want indies to just run it on their own. Like, we're not even gonna, we're very hands off. We want them to be the ones that do it. Is this what we're seeing now from Microsoft? Sort of like the comeback punch.
It definitely is. They also said that the games are going to be handled, and they likened it to like an iTunes app store or a like a Google Play app store. You're literally going to be able to load it up. There's going to be a 2-week approval process, and then it's good to go.
Yeah, we're going to see iPhone type.
Interesting.
This could be good.
This could be good. I mean, I've never really been that super indie fan, so I don't know that it really affects me too much. But it is nice to see Microsoft is really like not laying down and just taking it like they seem to have been in the last couple months. I mean, they're finally coming around. They're finally trying to like say, okay, this is what gamers want. Clearly, this is a big deal, and let's start to move towards that. And I do think indies have a huge place. I'm not trying to say that indies are, personally, I don't find myself buying a lot of them, mostly because I just don't have time. But I do think it's a good thing. I think it's, if you're going to have a platform like this, the more we've seen it a million times. I mean, Steam proves it every single time that they release a game. The more open you are with your platform, the more money you're actually going to make. I mean, this is just true. So I mean, the dev kit thing is pretty interesting. I'm wondering how far people can take it. That's, I guess, my next thing is like, could we see this dev thing really having people come up with some AAA-like titles just because they have such good access to the Xbox One? And we've seen this in the past. No?
I don't know about a AAA title. I mean, I'm not saying they can't make a good game.
Right.
But, to get the level of, motion capture that like Bungie does or COD does, there's still going to be a separation. Your big AAA studios are going to be able to throw, the amount of hardware and resources at it to do that crazy stuff. The sound capture of actually, showing up to the seals and would be like, okay, we want to capture all the sound for all the weapons you do.
Right.
I'm not going to be able to do that. I can't roll down to Camp Pendleton and be like, hey, I'm making this game, and I want to get in and record you guys using, your Mark II 50 cal. Is that all right? There's going to be that little bit of separation. But a decent, great game, I mean, look at Minecraft.
Right.
Originally, some dude said, hey, let's build shit with blocks, and now look at it.
It's true. Well, I mean, it brings to mind, I don't know if anyone's heard of Metro. It's a game that's on Steam right now. It's made by these guys, and I believe they're in Russia. But it's getting like tons of like play right now, and people are loving it. It was basically built by like 3 dudes who, I guess, like the power was not even on in their house for like half the development time, and it's literally like dudes in a dungeon. And it's as close as you can get to a AAA title with that 3 guys put together. So that type of stuff really like piques my interest for what can actually happen. And the more open they are on this platform, I just said it before, but I mean, the more money they're going to make. If they give people that option. People tend to take it. People tend to be, the more tools you give, the cooler shit we get, and more people spend money. So I'm hoping that works. I mean, I'm hoping it works out. We'll have to see. But yeah, that's pretty. Is that it for the news, or what else we got? Is there anything else out there?
I think so. I mean, just to kind of go along with your whole Steam sale thing. I mean, Torchlight. I saw an announcement today that Torchlight 2 sold 2 million units over the Steam sale. It took them almost a month when the game released to sell 1 million units. So, I mean, that price point and that excitement, if they can get it to like that level where you're not charging some crazy $30, $45, $60 a game, and let people do that $1, $5, free-to-play, pay-as-you-go type thing, the potential for money is huge there.
It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, that's the thing is it sucks because this whole summer is like just us waiting to see what's going to go down. There's so many possibilities with both of these. It's really exciting. And in fact, like I think one of the news things was that like this is going to be Sony's biggest launch ever because they're obviously the underdog. So this is going to be crazy, man. I mean, this is going to be crazy. I can't wait.
Where do you guys think the power is shifting right now? Is it still in Sony's court?
Yeah, I think it will. I think the damage that was done
after all the announcements.
Yeah, I think the damage that was done was significant enough where Xbox, no matter what's, going to play catch up. In fact, the big thing that worries I think a lot of people now with the Xbox One is the fact that it's really coming out and it's pretty clear. Sony is just more prepared with hardware. I mean, they've been saying that on average in stores, Microsoft's getting like 5 to 6 Xboxes and they're selling out. Sony, I guess what we heard maybe even a week or 2 ago. In fact, my brother, believe it or not, told me this when he went to go pre-order. Even the kid at the store said, yeah, Sony actually called us and said, just tell people, just sell them. Like we just sell them. We've got enough where we're not even gonna hold back. If people buy it, we'll just sell them. I think that's really gonna hurt Xbox. I mean, I think coupled with what's been going on with Xbox, if you have just more units to sell, and you walk into a store and you're a mom or a dad or even a kid who has the money, and your option is no Xbox One or PS4,
yeah,
things get a little easy there.
That's the kind of like side thing that's the big tilting point for Xbox for exactly the reason you say. If somebody's on the fence, if they're literally 50-50, and they roll into whatever game shop they love, and they go in and go, all right, do you have an Xbox One? Oh, no, sorry, we only got an 8, and we're sold out. We're not going to get in for the next 2 to 3 weeks. we've got a stack of PS4s over here. Bam. You know, that is the next biggest fault, or, you know, nail in the coffin Microsoft can do, is not have product in the stores.
Right. I mean, I think that's it. That's my biggest concern. If they don't have product ready, it doesn't matter, because the big thing here too, the systems are effectively the same, right? I mean, they're so close now in terms of power and performance. Even obviously people saying that Sony's going to have more of it. It becomes a no-brainer, I think, for a lot of people. People that don't care. That's the thing, is we're in a weird spot because we all care. We like have our opinions of like which one we're going to buy and the reasons, and we research and we know. But for the guy that's just a gamer that wants to play FIFA or wants to play whatever, wants to pick up a title he might play every once in a while, and he goes into a store, and, you know, the difference is here's a system he can't buy that's $100 more than the one that's right next to him that has more power and is $100 cheaper. The choice is pretty, I mean, I gotta say, if I walked into a store, I'm buying both, but if I had that decision to make, I'd easily buy the PlayStation 4 and then say, well, I'll get the Xbox later down the road.
It's funny how it's turning out this gen, because last gen it was the Wii.
Right.
Like, it was impossible to find, but it was a cheaper option. And, like, I don't think anyone went to the store looking for a Wii, not finding one and being, you know what, I'm going to grab a PlayStation 3 or 360. Yeah, it's really weird how the tides have turned.
Yeah, it's going to be a bloodbath, I think. I mean, I don't exaggerate. I really, truly believe that it's going to be a huge uphill battle for them, especially if this hardware isn't ready. I mean, first of all, if a Red Ring thing happens again, done deal.
Oh my god.
Done
Game
deal.
over?
Game
oh
over.
My god.
It's out. It's done.
Oh shit. Can you imagine that?
They lost the gen,
I mean,
for sure.
Physically, just I mean,
I couldn't. I mean, it would be a done deal. I mean, even for me, that's the thing, is even for me, if I get a system, you know, and I'm a fan of Microsoft. I like what they're doing. But that would be like, are you fucking serious? Again? Are you fucking? I mean, maybe if they make it green instead of red, I just change the color. You know, be smart. Make it yellow. Don't make it red.
have it strobe out at you instead
Make
of
it
just
like a
green.
frowny face or something, just like the
Oh yes,
yeah,
sad face,
something like that. I don't know. The whole thing is weird. But anyway, so we'll see, because again, it's all speculation. So we'll see, and we'll know in a couple months. It's crazy. It's gonna be bananas. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this week's show. I actually like doing kind of a news roundup. It keeps things interesting and moving. It's not so bad. But if you want to talk about raging, LB's your man. LB, where can they find you to talk about this raging?
You can get a hold of me at Twitter at Lbsutke, at Xbox, at PSN, all that Lbsutke, or you could find me at Facebook under Mike Capola.
And you fucking should. He spits knowledge 24 hours a day.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. Roger Roken, where can they find you?
You can find me at Twitter at i6hitman, YouTube i6hitman, and Twitch /Watchtower Games.
Sounds good. Sounds great.
Oh, I'm doing Halo 3 Land this weekend.
Oh, are you? You're
4-player view.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Halo 3.
Halo 3. You picked a good one.
Will there be chicks?
No.
Oh, will there be chicks?
No.
Can we open our
No
hearts
chicks
up? Can
allowed.
we talk about it? Let's just talk about it for a while. Let's just talk about it. If you want to get love advice from me, don't. It's terrifying. Just don't. But you can find me at, Twitch, right here, every single week, sometimes, on Thursdays around 7 o'clock Central. Or you can find me at Twitter, Dude I Rock, Facebook, Dude I Rock, or on Tool to Play at Dude I Rock. I'm everywhere. It's fine. You can find me. Until next week, thanks everyone for coming. I love you, chat. You guys are fucking hilarious. And we'll do this again next week. That'll be fun. All right? All right.
Peace.
Peace out.
See you guys.